Welcome back to another weather video. This is now Hurricane Ernesto, and you might notice that the track has shifted a little bit. It's now expected to take a further
east track.
but the U.S. should still be okay from this. Pretty likely the U.S. will not get hit by this.
But
Bermuda, it looks like it could now go on
more on the eastern side of
Bermuda, or no, sorry, my bad. Western side of Bermuda. Did I say the track shifted further east? I meant west. The track is shifted further west, and this means this will likely go on the western side of Bermuda, or it will actually hit Bermuda directly. Regardless, Bermuda will get some pretty big impacts from this. Now, Nova Scotia could also get some significant impacts from this, or like a lot of the models suggest, it could just end up skirting right off of Nova Scotia. So, let's look at the model. Okay, so first let's look at the GFS, and here's what the GFS shows as we get further out in time. You can see, if you see there's Bermuda. The GFS takes us a little bit further to the east, actually taking this to the east of Bermuda. It still shows Bermuda getting the eye wall on this, though, which is the most intense part of the storm, and then has this skirting up to the north, just missing Nova Scotia, and it would still impact parts of Canada. So that wouldn't be ideal. Then, the European. The European takes this to the west of Bermuda, but the Bermuda also gets the eye wall in this scenario. So both scenarios, both the GFS and European, which are not the only models, but some of the main models, both have Bermuda getting the eye wall. And then the European skirts this off the coast, with this still impacting parts of Canada, but Nova Scotia would not be directly hit by this. So those are the two models. Now to severe weather. Okay, so here's your day one risk of severe weather. There's a slight risk from portions of
southeastern Iowa,
down into
northeastern Missouri,
into portions of Kansas and Nebraska. Now, this slight risk has the risk of all hazards. This includes the tornado risk. There is a 50% tornado risk included with it.
Oh,
not a 50% tornado risk. Oh my goodness. A 5% tornado risk. That's within 25 miles of a point. So if I said 50, that would mean within 50 miles of a point there was a 100% chance, which would be outrageous. And I don't think there's ever been a 50. Well, that, first of all, it's not on the scale. There's a 30, 45. There's been a 45% risk. And I think there was one time there was a 60%. Okay, so 15% chance of damaging winds within 25 miles of a point for some of those exact same areas. And then the hail risk is hatched, which means a risk of larger hail is included with that. But there's day 2 risk as well, which comes along with a small tornado risk, which they're leaving room for a 5% in there. And then a day 2 wind outlook, which they're probably going to add an enhanced risk, so like a 30% wind risk. And then hail, they might also add a 30%. I don't know. But the wind risk will probably get upgraded, and the tornado risk could get upgraded to a 5%. And then day 3, there's a marginal risk, which will probably become a slight risk. Now let's get into the models. Okay, so all we're going to look at is today's severe weather risk on the models. But the highest risk is in southeastern Iowa into portions of Nebraska and Kansas, as well as northeastern Missouri. Or sorry, I have been saying it all wrong this entire time. I meant northwestern Missouri.
I don't know why it's so hard for me to remember simple directions, but for some reason, I literally have dementia. My brain I can't think straight. It's terrible. I mean, usually I can, but like with directions, I'm terrible at directions. When I'm looking at a map, I literally, in real life, I'm great with directions. When I'm looking at a radar, I get them backwards every time. I don't know why. But anyway, oh my goodness.
Here's a convective boom. Big burst of storms forms in southwestern Iowa and portions of Nebraska and Kansas and Missouri. And some of these initial cells could be discrete, which could produce tornadoes. But then it will quickly transition into a damaging wind risk, and there could be large hail in here as well. That's your forecast for today. Before I have an aneurysm, I am going to turn off the recording. So goodbye, stay safe, until next time.